Hey Soup, welcome back. It's Claytano, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to rune Rica, the Fire Occult Girl. Now I know in a previous video I actually showed her as being in the top 10 worst Nat 5s you could possibly get. However, Comtuos actually listened to that video, it seems like it, and they buffed about half of those Nat 5s that I said were in there, Rica being one of them. And she's actually a very, very good monster. Now she's got 2 AoE skills. She does dots on her third, so that makes her very, very relevant for TOA and TOA hard. And you know, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how to rune her, what she's good with, what alternatives there are for Rica, we'll just go ahead and get right into that here. So the pros for Rica, I would say she's got a lot of pros, meaning good things about her. So pros and cons. First pros are she has very, very synergetic skill set. So if you look at it, she not only awakens into accuracy, she has a 38% crit rate for fire. Now, I would love to see that being just a crit rate for everybody, no matter where it is, but you know, all the occult girls, for whatever attribute they are, that's their leader skill. So you know, it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's very situational. Most of the time, you're not gonna really have Rica leader, maybe other than just arena for a full win team that you're going against or something like that. Aside from that, her third skill attacks all enemies 3 times. Each attack has a 40% chance to decrease their attack speed and inflict continuous damage for 2 turns. So what this is doing is it's putting up to 3 dots on the enemies for 2 turns. So there's 3 dots, 2 turns, 40% chance per, and it slows their speed. So that's, like I said, extremely good for TOA hard when you're trying to outspeed the other team. You're trying to land dots because they have so much health that dots are actually the best way to do damage for the most part. And it's slowing them down so that way you can speed your team up and go a few times in between them and, you know, heal up, get more skills again, and then put dots on again. Now, aside from that, she has a built-in despair. She has a built-in stun for the most part, and that's through her second skill, which is Toy Knight, summons a toy doll and attacks all enemies, stunning them for 1 turn with the 50% chance. The same as all the occult girls, and it's nice, especially, like I said, for TOA. You want that built-in stun. It's going to help out so much, make it so easy. Third, she has a built-in violent. So she has built-in despair and built-in violent, and that's through her first skill, just like every other occult girl. This attack has 25% chance to put the enemy to sleep. If it does, then you gain another turn. Now that's about the only thing that she really had going for her previously, in my opinion, aside from the stun. Her third skill is very lackluster for the most part, but now she actually has a use in TOA hard, and that's like the main place that I would say that she's useful. Maybe some cases in arena offense. The fourth pro for her, though, is she actually has a lot of good base stats. She's an attack monster, but she has over 10k HP. She has decent attack, and she's got decent speed. So she's got decent defense, not to mention that. So she's kind of got a full, well-rounded package, and like I said, her skills just synergize amazingly. And when I was actually thinking about the cons for Rica, I had a really hard time finding a con other than the leader skill being just for fire monsters. So if you're trying to run an AO with Rica leader, the other or every other monster in your group, in your team, isn't going to receive a leader skill at all unless they have fire attributes. So that's one thing. Like if you're relying on Rica's leader skill for Rica specifically, you could potentially be hindering a lot of your other monsters in the same group. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, I'd say the only other con would be that she gets out damaged by a lot of other free-to-play AoE type monsters like Amir, the Wind Ifrit. So you don't really see Rica being used a whole lot as a pure damage dealer. However, she is very useful, like I said, again, in TOA. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. Now, what are her runes? So early game, I would say you want to build her Despair. That's the easiest full set that you can get for Rica. It's going to amplify her third skill, her second skill, her first skill. It's going to stun and sleep, so I mean, you can't really complain about that. You also have your offset. You can do either I'd say focus or blade, so accuracy so that way you land your skills more, or blade so that way you crit more. 2 slot is either speed or attack. 4 slot is crit damage or crit rate, and 6 slot is primarily just attack. And for the subset priorities, so if you go attack slot 2, you want speed in your subsets. If you go speed slot 2, you want attack in your subsets, and vice versa. That's pretty much what you're looking for there. And then if you have crit rate slot 4, you want crit damage in your subsets. If you have crit damage slot 4, then you want crit rate substats. For late game, you're going to want to move Rica into a violent set. The reason why is because she has so much built-in utility. She doesn't need despair. The more she's putting the dots down, the more she's stunning, the more she's proccing her violent with amplified from her first skill. She doesn't need more utility. She just needs to get those skills off more and more. So like for TOA hard, the more dots you put on the monsters, the quicker your runs are going to be, and the more she's going to stun from her second skill. So that's plenty enough. You don't need to have an extra despair proc. And then also, I would say that you want to move her to Will as well, so that way you can use her in not only TOA, but you can use her in Arena Offense, you can use her in Guild War Offense, mostly offensive type roles. I wouldn't say like anywhere else besides Guild War or Arena Offense, besides TOA. For late game, rune slots, I would say 2 slot would be speed or attack. 4 slot has to go just straight crit damage. I mean, she gets this leader skill, so you might as well use it when you can. Unless you're building her with a team, like I said earlier, where you don't want her to rely on the leader skill, which is always a good thing. And then subset priorities, you're going to be looking at speed, attack, crit rate, crit damage, and then accuracy in that order for the subsets. Now, what are her team combos? What do you want to run her with? So for Arena Offense, you're going to want her with an AoE stripper, like Triton, Tiana, Juno, Praha, Soha, Aquila, any of those. And then you're going to want her with an AoE defense breaker like Galleon, Lure, etc. The reason why is because she's an AoE monster. The more you clear the path for her and set her up, the more useful that she's going to be. Hands down. And then just put another nuke with her as well. So you have 2 nukes, Galleon, and a stripper, just like every other AoE nuker, pretty much. For TOA, you want to pair her with an attack bar booster. So I would say Vertihile works, Bernard works, Orion works, Velagul works. I would probably say Bernard over Velagul, but you get the idea. So one of them plus an attack bar reducer. So maybe the Dark Mammoth, Dark Mammoth or something like that. Attack bar reducer. Spectra would work, something that reduces their attack bar. So that way you're stunning them, you're putting dots on, you're reducing their attack bar, you're gaining your attack bar, and you're violent proccing all over them, and they're not going to get a move. That's what your goal for TOA hard is. So what other alternatives are there for Rica? Like I said, it's just any other AoE nuker. For TOA specifically, I would say Charlotte's a good alternative. Something that's gonna bring some utility to your run for the most part. Her overall rating, I can't give her a 4, but I don't want to go as low as a 3. Just because she gets a little bit outclassed by other monsters, so that's the only reason why I would say that she's not a 4. So I give her a strong 3.5 overall rating. But anyway, guys, if you have Rica, definitely congratulations on Rica. She's definitely been buffed. She's actually useful now. And if you have somebody that has pulled Rica, is wondering how to rune them, definitely share this video with them. But if it helped, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe because it definitely helps me out. And tomorrow we will be doing the Fire Dragonite Leica. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye-bye.